Welcome to the Pivot PRN Podcast. I'm your host, Cecilia.
And I'm your co-host, Connie. We are both nurses who dare to dream beyond the bedside, and we're ready to share our experiences and those of others who have found themselves at a crossroads in their careers.
Every month, we'll bring you authentic conversations filled with practical tips and wisdom to help you better navigate the twists and turns of a scary career transition.
So, if you're ready to make a change, you're in the right place. It's time to take control of your life, PRN style.
Ready for your pivot? Let's do this.
All right. Hello, Pivoters. Welcome to the Pivot PRN Podcast. I'm Connie Betts.
And I'm Cecilia.
And we'd like to introduce you all to our first podcast guest ever, Pauline Luong Carbajal. Yay!
Hey!
Hello. So, little introduction. There's no one simple way to describe her, and that's what I love about her. She defies labels. She's a powerhouse female, one of my best friends I've known since 6th grade, which is like more than 20 years ago, if you can believe it. She is my matron of honor, a creative, a scientist, business owner, and just a multi-passionate woman. And honestly, so much more than what I just said. So, Pauline, if you could tell the audience a little bit about yourself and where do you find yourself in this moment of life?
Sure. Well, thank you for the amazing introduction there. I've never been introduced with such acclaim there. And yeah, I guess that really sums it up that I have done a lot of things. And yeah, I guess I've put a lot of labels on myself, and by doing so have defied labels. But my own description for myself was much more simplified, where I just labeled myself in terms of a career, like most of us do. I call myself a clinical research operations and marketing consultant currently. But in previous lifetimes, I was a bioengineer, I was a project manager, I was a graduate researcher. And then I think I've really merged a lot of that together into something that fits who I am.
Your biggest pivot in your career or life?
I feel like where I've gotten to today has been a gradual transformation, but there have been moments in my life that were big changes, big disruptors. And the first one I can think of is grad school. I was pursuing kind of a traditional scientist/engineer route and went to grad school to do research. And I honestly kind of just pursued it without a true passion for it. And I really discovered that I struggled with it. And I've really come to terms with that. And I understand that it was an indication that I wasn't going in the right direction for me. And there was a big moment where it was a very stressful period in my life. I thought I couldn't do anything. And I mastered out of my PhD instead and started pursuing a different pathway in industry. And I think that was kind of like the first pivot that I had, going away from something that I had spent so much time and energy learning about, right? I dedicated my college years to pursuing this researcher pathway, but it wasn't what I wanted. So I'd say that's my first big pivot.
Interesting. Now, following up with that, you said that this is an area that truly wasn't your passion. What were some signs, or like, how did you realize that this area, your PhD, like, wasn't your passion, in case some of our listeners are going through a similar struggle?
I think what I discovered now that I reflect back on that period of my life is really listening to where I was happy and what I was looking forward to doing. So at that time, I was not looking forward to going into the lab and being isolated from people and working with cells. Thrived when I was with people and interacting with them. And in addition to that, thriving when I was making processes and improving things. So throughout all of my college years, I've seen this through line through everything I've done, which is being a part of community, being with people, and engaging with people. That's kind of where I started seeing my interests come alive. And I was introduced to a new career field called clinical research, just happenstance, as a fellow intern of mine was pursuing that. He had also come from like a bioengineering background, mentioned clinical research. And from there, I kind of dived down that pathway and then had various opportunities present themselves to me. And through those opportunities, for some reason, kept getting kind of creative projects thrown at me. And when I started working on them, I found that I kept getting lost. Like time would just disappear. Like when you really fall in it, start doing something that you're just completely focused. The time goes away and you just kind of, get into a flow. So I started finding that whenever I got those kind of projects, I was really excited about it. I would start pursuing just like educating myself on everything I could about it. And I think if when you listen to your heart and your passions, it'll lead you in the right direction.
Yeah, it sounds like you're very self-aware, or you've become very self-aware having gone through that pivot, and you learn to listen to yourself. So, yeah, so your journey is definitely relatable. Like, I was in a PhD program as well, but I didn't have the option to master out of it. But if I could have, I would have loved to at least leave with a master. But yeah, I totally understand it, and it's definitely brave to switch, or to realize that you really just want to like be around other people, and also recognizing what you're good at and what makes you feel good and what makes time fly. So that's really good. You made a very conscious sort of decision. So that was like very mature of you in that time.
I admit it wasn't very mature when I was going through it. I kind of had to have like kind of like a hit to the head by other people to realize that I needed to make a change, and a lot of change happened at that time. But sometimes people talk about like, failure in a negative way, or knowing when to quit. And sometimes you just, if you're not going the right direction, you have to know when to kind of quit pursuing something that's not going to work out, not waste your energy on it anymore.
Yeah. What was the final straw, you think?
For the research thing, there was a bit of I really struggled with my manager there, the PI. And in addition to having difficulty with the research, just kind of the different way of working. And I've come to terms with that too. I still had a lot to learn in terms of maturing as a person and becoming a professional. There was like one last straw between the two of us that really was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. She can't do this anymore with me either. And sometimes you just have to kind of part ways with people, and that's fine. And, as long as you learn things and don't let it completely bring you down, life goes on. There's a lot of opportunities elsewhere. I think we have several other friends and other people that we know in our collective lives that have also pursued PhDs and decided that's not for them too, and that's fine. And I think it's something that I'd love other people to know too. It's like you don't have to go through the PhD if you're already partway through it, and it's not really what you want. And also, you can start making money.
Yeah,
that's true. The PhD life can be not that, what's the word, lucrative in terms of finances. But if you're really passionate about it, then
People
pursue that.
it's perfect for them. Like they're made for that, and we need them. We need them to push science forward and new innovations and become teachers for the rest of us.
Right. But yeah, Brian, my husband, had the same thing where he went to grad school to get his PhD, and I think it was bioengineering, or no, not bioengineering, biochemistry.
biochemistry.
I think that's what it was. I need to ask him. He's my husband. I should know this. But yeah, he ended up mastering out as well. And he also had an issue with his PI. And yeah, so then he ended up going into a coding boot camp. So he's now a software engineer at Experian. So he figured it out. You don't have to do academia if you don't want to. So there's so much you can do. And he'll probably be a guest on this podcast soon too.
Yeah. And also Aqua and Renee, they also were doing PhDs, mastered out, did engineering for a while, and now they're creatives, which is so cool as well.
I didn't know that about them.
Yeah, they're both
Yeah.
pursuing kind of gaming and creative writing and scientific writing. So there's a lot of ways you can incorporate your education still in their applications.
Right. Yeah. We need to have them on the podcast too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping this inspires people to
Yeah.
they don't have to get their PhD. They don't have to do what society tells them is like the most prestigious thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
They can do what is on their heart.
Mm-hmm.
So
100%.
I'm just wondering, was there anyone in your grad program that tried to change your mind about you pivoting? Like, did someone try to talk you into staying?
No, not really. Thankfully not.
not so for you, right, Cecilia?
I had a bad experience where one of the professors was like, "How could you do this to me? I helped you out so much. Like not everyone gets to have a PhD. Like, why are you throwing away like
Mm-hmm.
chance at doing it?" Like, she tried to change my mind, you know. She was like, "Why don't you just like do some yoga and
Deep breaths,
get
meditate.
get really mindful and just like go back to work."
Wow. That seems like a little bit of gaslighting. Just yoga it out. Yeah, just meditate and you'll be
Like,
fine.
have you ever tried talk therapy? Like, I hear it's great, you know. Like, when I was a grad student, I had 3 kids and worked a full-time job and got my PhD. So, I mean, you know, it's so doable. So, yeah, but I'm so glad no one said that to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like all that stuff is helpful, but there's like, I saw a post recently that was saying how society teaches that wellness for women is doing yoga and deep breaths and doing girls' night and things. But really, what it is having the right societal supports for women or having your community support. And emotional like stability and things like that. It's a lot more than these other items, which are helpful to cultivate kind of habits and like wellness habits, but there's a lot more that goes into that. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah, community is really important. That's something I would like more of. But I mean, you guys are part of my community,
mhm.
but
Yeah, we're
sometimes I
there for each
feel
other.
there for each other. Sometimes I feel like isolated though when I'm just like working really hard on my business or whatever. But yeah, that's when networking is good and just
Mhm.
trying to be a part of a collective.
Yeah, or going to really fun conferences in Los Angeles helps
Yeah.
Yeah.
with the isolation.
Of
Yeah.
what was
Segue,
this
you mean to say?
conference? What is this conference you speak of?
I don't know. It was just a little event called Canva Create, and
Ooh.
I met up with 3 of my friends there, and it was really nice.
Who are those friends?
Oh, their names were Pauline, Connie, and Jen. Yeah, and it was so much fun.
Yeah. What were some of your thoughts about Canva Create, Pauline?
Yeah, that was a really awesome event that we all that it was so cool that we all got to go together and collectively, right? We all have our own businesses, and as we were saying, building your own business, being a contractor or a freelancer can be so isolating, and it was nice that we were able to converge and collaborate and commiserate about this entrepreneurial lifestyle that we're following by going to Canva Create. So it was really cool. We got the notices about Canva Create a couple of months ago, and we just threw it out there. Said, "Hey, let's all meet here. It's happening in LA. It's an easy flight for me, an easy drive for you all," and we made it happen.
Yeah, it was amazing. You just felt that energy, like the creative energy when you walked in.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just cool to see everyone unified by wanting to create. And I don't know, just do creative stuff.
Yeah, the whole event, like leading up to it with preparing the agenda, we were trading notes on what sessions we were going to attend and
Yeah.
kind of strategizing. And it was interesting also to see the different interests that each of us had based on the the sessions that we were going to. Like, yeah, we're all creatives and we're all doing some kind of marketing thing, but within the marketing world, there's actually so many different avenues you can pursue in different specialties. And that was kind of highlighted at Canva, where you can go, where we learned and that there's like a lot of teachers using it and
Yeah.
not just marketing agencies.
Yeah,
And there's
that's
just,
true.
there was, it was
Mm-hmm.
and it exposed to us how much Canva has permeated society and brought design to the masses, right? Like
Right. It's like
everyone can be a
democratized
designer
it.
now.
I know. It's like I feel like a graphic designer,
Mhm.
even
Yep, like
though,
everyone
yeah,
can.
I know. It's really cool. And now after going to the, what was it? It was like where you could see the different Canva integrations that I forget what they called it. The marketplace, I think it was, where
Mhm.
they had like the Dropbox
Uh-huh.
area and they had like
Like
MailChimp
like
and all
Oh,
Shopdeck.
these.
right. Mhm.
Right. Yeah. All those different booths. Like
Mhm.
that was kind of cool because then it made me think of like, oh, I could integrate Canva with my Dropbox or
Mhm.
like I use Klaviyo for a client and I now integrate my Canva with her Klaviyo so I could just easily drop my Canva creations into her newsletters just like so easily. Yeah, so it was just cool to like learn all that because it's like, wow, like my workflow is so much easier now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
The integrations and workflow things, it all improves the efficiency that you can work at, especially like obviously the all the new AI stuff that they're bringing in, right? Like
mm,
you can
yeah,
multiply the work and the content that you generate out there.
right. Yeah. And I just thought the idea of AI, which a lot of companies are now embracing, I thought the idea that AI as like augmenting your creativity versus taking away from it, I thought that was
Mhm.
pretty cool
Mhm.
because a lot of people think AI is oh, like it's not creative. You just plug in an input and it tells you like this
Mhm.
is what you can do to like create this is what you can create. Like it does the work for you. So people think it's like not creative, but
Yeah, it's just another tool in your tool belt, right? To
yeah.
achieve an objective. And it's something that we kind of have to work with and embrace within bounds because I
Mhm.
struggle with this a lot too, because I am an artist and I'm also integrated with an artist community. And there's a lot of pushback against AI, right? Because it
Right.
is eating artists' work and then other people can basically take from that. So there's a lot that AI can be used for in art and creativity, but we can't rely on it as a crutch and a replacement
Yeah.
for the work that we put out there. And I think I've heard
Mhm.
that a lot through podcasts and books and articles and thought leadership that I've been listening to or reading that you to draft things, don't use it as your final product. Um
Yeah.
and give credit where credit's due, and that's kind of like some best practices to using AI.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it was definitely encouraging to hear because we went to that one panel talking about how they integrated AI. I think there was like that executive from Coca-Cola. There was like an
Mhm,
executive from forget the other companies. I just remember Coca-Cola was there,
Yeah.
but they mentioned
mhm,
Yeah.
how it shaved off like hours of work for themselves so they were able to focus on more important things like it eliminated a lot of like busy work
mhm. Yeah,
and they haven't shied away from using it. Like they've really learned to make it work for them.
mhm,
Right.
definitely. Yeah, that was the panel where we were melting in the sun. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They gave us sunscreen
Mhm.
and water.
Sunscreen and water.
Oh my god, it was
Mhm.
so hot that day.
Can we talk about the, I don't know, what do you call it? The Canva create design of the entire place. It was really amazing. It felt like walking into an amusement park, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also like a candy shop too. There was that candy shop area.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you walked through the door, there was the duck ball pit that they had. They had seesaws. They had this vendor booth that looked in a coffee shop, the candy shop. It felt like you were walking into Disneyland, except Canva.
Cheaper, honestly, than
Yeah.
Disneyland.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was just so colorful and it was just like pure joy. I felt so happy when we walked in, and there was like
that's a good description.
and there was like breakfast, or there was like donuts and from Randy's. Was it Randy's?
Yeah.
Like Randy's donuts and like parfaits and like I don't know. They were pretty organized.
Yeah, very organized for sure.
Yeah, it was cool. I would go again.
We might make it an annual thing.
Yeah, we should. That'd be cool.
The only thing I was kind of missing was actually networking there. I don't know if you were able to network with a lot of other people, but it was kind of just a lot of going to sessions and not as many things where you could just go over and talk to people and trade ideas or trade business cards and things like that.
Right.
Well, you went to the after party though. You went to the Dropbox after.
Yeah, that was a good. That was a.
Oh yeah, Dropbox was hosting an after party randomly at like some studio nearby, and it was cool. They had really good food, and like a DJ. There was like a whole like a cool. I don't know. The DJ was like 14 years old or something. Like, he was really young.
It was like a family business, and I think probably the dad or someone like owns it, and he was having his son or nephew play for a bit, and it was so cool because they hired a lot of local talent, right? And it brought up the small businesses there too that I think also use Canva and Dropbox and things like that to promote their businesses. So we got to meet a lot of really cool and like genuine, small business owners through that party.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a small space, and there was like a little VR place or a little VR. I don't know what they were VRing, but
you didn't.
You could like DJ VR your own like DJ set or something.
Right, that's what it was. It was like you do your own DJ thing. But yeah, it was interesting. It was cool. That was probably like the most networking we did, and that was after Canva Create. So
yeah,
I know they had those sessions where you can schedule, like one of the sessions you could schedule was like a coffee, or like you meet up at the cafe or something. And you can talk with like people in your industry, but they were all like, I think they were all what's the word? They were all filled. They were all booked by the time I looked at it.
Yeah, I think I passed by one that said it was a networking kind of session for nonprofits or something like that, and there's one for like teachers. It'd be cool if there were more networking sessions, and there was just so much happening at the same time that I was like, man, if only this went over 2 days, it would be easier to get to the sessions you want to see and not have to like run across. But they were actually super spread out.
Right.
There was no, like, they started on the dot. Like, I feel like there wasn't like a cool down period between sessions. Like, I feel like everything was literally scheduled back to back. So
yeah,
I know that was rough. Or like it would start like right after each other, but you'd have to like go across to like the SoFi Stadium. And it was a busy day, but it was cool.
To anyone listening to this who wants to attend Canva next year, don't be like me. Don't wear heels. Wear comfy shoes so that you can run from session to session, and bring a refillable water bottle because I was thirsty the whole time.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They had water stations, but
The Pivot PRN podcast is brought to you by Like-Minded Collective, where friendship comes first and business comes second.
If you live near Orange County, California, you can join Like-Minded Collective's in-person networking chapter, Like-Minded OC. So, Connie, why do you love LMC?
Okay, so first of all, Inbal Claudio, the founder, is such an amazing connector of women and businesses. The women you meet at LMC are powerhouses, very down to earth, easy to talk to, approachable, and even as a new business owner myself, they meet me where I'm at, and everyone is just so supportive of each other, and the vibes are amazing. And if you are part of Like-Minded OC, you have access to a lot of events like wellness walks, coffee and conversations, business events with workshops, hot seat coaching.
If you are a local to Orange County, you can use the same discount code PIVOT10 to get 10% off your business and collab event ticket, which is their once a month event, which has the most women and has a really great workshop. Go to likemindedcollective.com and sign up now for an in-person event.
Should just bring your own bottle.
Yeah. They give you the little ice cone cups, the paper ice cone cups.
There's
fill.
that was funny.
Yeah.
But let's see. Anything else about Canva Create?
I was curious what your favorite sessions and what your biggest takeaways were.
I mean, I feel like all my favorite things were not even marketing related. I think I was just there to like celebrity gaze. Like I was just there for like the celebrities that I didn't even know were like there were people that I didn't even know who they were or heard of them before, but I think I enjoyed their sessions the most.
Mm-hmm.
That and like Cynthia Erivo. And they talked less about Canva and just like more generally about like being creative
Mm-hmm.
and finding your niche. So I think I found that really useful. The other Canva stuff was helpful, but I found those talks more inspiring. And then obviously the marching band number in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say the keynote was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a lot of hype for Canva.
Mm-hmm.
Like Brian, when I was sending Brian videos of it, he was like, "This is a cult. Like it looks like a cult."
Mm-hmm.
I guess because it's just like so hype about about being able to, I don't know, make multiple types of designs or multiple types of formats in one design.
Making a
like,
spreadsheet.
Ooh, spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Canva AI.
Yeah.
Whatever the other, I forget what the other thing was, but there were 4 things.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, the Canva song was really cool. I think like Cecilia, what I enjoyed the most was all the, watching all the celebrities, like being starstruck by everybody. I listened to a lot of podcasts, so it was cool to see some of the podcasters like Guy Raz, who I listened to his How I Built This podcast a lot. So it was just cool to see him with I think he interviewed John Batiste.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Yeah, that was it. That was really cool. And just, yeah, like John Batiste and like the way he talks about creativity was really interesting. And he just has this mind that's like not of this world.
Mm-hmm.
He's like posing in his head while like having a conversation.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I missed that one. I love Guy Raz's How I Built This podcast. It provides so much education and inspiration for me to be like an entrepreneur. So I'll have to watch the recap of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really cool. And yeah, Cynthia Erivo was interesting, more just to be like, I've seen Cynthia Erivo before. Like just to say I've seen her. But yeah. I don't know if I necessarily like learned much. I mean, the AI stuff was interesting about just how all these big companies are integrating it into their processes now. And yeah, I think it was interesting to see how everyone's just using AI now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that was probably my biggest takeaway. All those things.
Yeah. Keynote definitely was the peak event. It was amazing to have that start off the day. But then I think because it was just so amazing at the beginning, it kind of everything else just couldn't compare to it.
I know.
With like 5 different types of music performances. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But I think I did enjoy learning the capabilities that Canva was bringing as part of their big release this year, especially being able to have the different file formats and different sizes within the same file, which will really, really help a lot of because you can combine one project within one file and it'll be a lot more organized.
Right.
Granted, being an Adobe user, I'm like, oh, you can have different size pages for a long time. So it's nice to see that there. But at the same time, Canva is really pushing Adobe to innovate as well. And it's really to have both of these companies out there because they, just like the capitalist competitive market, it pushes innovation and brings a lot of new tools for us to use.
Right.
I went to the workshops. I thought I would learn a bit more. I wasn't sure what to expect. I was expecting a little bit more like hands-on. However, I did get to try out their new Canva AI, which is pretty cool. Like you type in something, say, build me this and build me a website, build me a little widget. And it can code a little widget for you in Canva in a matter
Canva
of seconds
code,
or minutes.
right?
And it does it in HTML and CSS. Yeah. It's not currently on the cloud yet, so it's limited in use, but I'm sure they're going to get that connected and get it online, and that'll really, really revolutionize what people can build. Because now, I don't know if you've heard about it, there's something called vibe coding.
No.
So now, like with AI, people don't have to know how to actually code, and you can just type something into AI and it'll build something for you. And with the right prompts, it can adjust whole websites for you, it can create widgets and databases and things. And so now they call it vibe coding when you can just like, I just feel like building this today, I'm just gonna type it up, and that's like the next thing. Anyone can be a coder now. Anyone can be developing apps. So then further democratizing ability to build.
That's really cool.
I wonder
that's a new term.
I wonder how Brian feels about that.
Yeah, ask him.
Well, I mean, he's honestly told me, because like with my clients, sometimes I have to code something like on their like Shopify website or whatever, and Brian, my husband, will tell me like, oh, just like use AI. Like he loves AI, so he's like, yeah, just tell AI that you want to embed this like YouTube video in this website. And like I think he's embraced it pretty much. Like he thinks it's cool. So, but I don't know, maybe there's some more traditional coders that think it's cheating or they're not that excited about it.
Yeah, there was the threat of obsoleting their position.
I know. Yeah. It is a little scary that AI can replace a lot of jobs. But yeah, not our jobs.
Not if you figure out how to use AI, then you'll still be useful.
Yes, use it as a tool.
Yeah. I do question that a lot too, where I was like, man, with all the the AI and the other tools, how do you continue to make a place for yourself in the world, right? As there's a lot of people who are super skilled at marketing and doing all this stuff, and you kind of just need to stay on top of the tools so that you don't kind of fade it into what's the word?
Obsolescence.
Obsolescence, yeah.
Yeah, that is true. During your pivot from being a PhD candidate to, I guess, what you're doing now, like what have been some of the biggest struggles that you faced?
I guess kind of finding a place. After I left my PhD, I tried doing kind of like a quality engineer role for a while, and that also was a little bit boring. People also couldn't figure out what to do with me. And I continued down the clinical research track, and I think that's where I started to find my place. And then as I had some opportunities to do some marketing projects in those new positions, I started to recognize where, I started to recognize like what I like doing, right? Which is kind of like that marketing stuff. And sorry, I kind of went off the question, but the hardest parts, right?
Yeah.
Pivoting to where I am now. I guess just kind of like staying on track towards what that North Star is. It took a while to figure out what I really want to do with my life. And I mean, my life is kind of a big term, but what I want to do with the next stage of my life and staying focused on that. I like to do a lot of different things, and then with everyday work, right? It can be hard to focus on what you really want to do when you're struggling to keep up with assignments at work and keep up with doing the business, etc.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've known you for 20 plus years, and you've always been wanting to do so many different things, which I really like about you. You're kind of like a Jack or Jill of all trades. You kind of do everything, which I think is really cool.
Sometimes I'm just like, is that ADHD? But like I feel like everyone says they have ADHD now. I just can't pick and choose anything, so I just want to do everything, which can be a problem.
Yeah, like you're always learning new things and picking up new hobbies, which is really cool.
In society, we just have so much at our fingertips, right? And then thanks to social media, it's like, oh, someone's like, you see something that's really cool and they make it seem so interesting, and then I just go try it out. I think most of my, I guess, my philosophy and approach to life the past couple of years has just kind of been like, let's try it out. I think there was a group that I was in undergrad where they said this about food, but it applies a lot, I think, to anything in life. It's like, don't knock it till you try it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that's kind of like my approach. You just try things, and if you really like it, it'll stick. And if you don't like it, hey, at least you tried it and you have a new experience and something to share with people.
Yeah, that's really cool. Like, what advice do you have for people who want to try new things, but or maybe they do try it, but then they feel like discouraged, so they're tempted to just not stick with it. I feel like you're good at just like sticking with the course. So
I think coming in with the mindset that you're not going to be good when you first try something out, and being willing to accept looking like a beginner, because everyone started there, right? And don't compare yourself to other people. And if you're feeling self-conscious about trying something, no one's looking at you. Or like they're not, I mean, maybe they are looking at you, but they're not, analyzing you as much as you think they are. But then I do admit that I am a little bit scared of trying some things, right? But there are a lot of communities and courses or different things that you can do where they create a safe environment for you to learn. Say, for one example, is that I got into skateboarding a little bit a couple of years ago, and I'm like 30 years old. I'm breakable. I don't heal. I'm older, whatever. That's just like, a 14-year-old boy thing. So I felt, and even still now, I don't feel comfortable skateboarding, just going out to the skate park and going there because I'm going to look stupid. But I found an organization that teaches women's and trans and female identifying people of all ages to skateboard. Right. And I started there. So if anyone's trying to find something that they want to learn, just like try to find a community that is there and talk to other people that are doing it and ask them how they started learning. You'll find that, people just love helping other people. And, they if you ask, you'll be able to, get started and be supported along the way.
Yeah. So talk to people, ask for help.
So how do you like integrate all this knowledge and like synthesize it into your work, I guess? I feel like you're like the epitome of like the ideal Canva user. Like you have like such a strong like science background, but you also like have an eye for like aesthetics too. So I guess like how does that serve you, I guess, when you're serving your clients to have such a broad spectrum of skills and experiences?
Yeah, I think it all centers on really problem solving. I don't remember if there was another marketing conference I went to or another podcast, but it was saying how marketing is actually you're trying to solve a problem. And same thing with like engineering, you're trying to solve a problem. And then science, you're trying to discover something. And all of that kind of comes together when you're with anything that I'm trying to achieve for my clients. And a lot of the work I do is documentation based or like email based. And I always try to, well, not always, but I try to apply a lot of, I guess, some design principles from design and psychology principles from marketing when I'm working with my science and tech clients. It's like, yeah, they like a lot of detail, but at the same time, you need to have a simple and clear message and you need to present it in a way that's digestible to people. And I think that's something in marketing that sometimes is lost on people that work in really technical fields like science and engineering.
Mm,
Like you kind of get lost in all the details and things. And if you're trying to make a point, you need to pull out like the core message and make it simple, clear, and concise for people.
That's where marketing comes into it.
With anything, it's just like kind of like a change in language, right? As long as you are able to approach work with a critical thinking, then you can apply that critical thinking in a lot of different environments. It's just kind of having a little bit more context and knowing the jargon in that particular area. All right. I don't know if I answered that question well. I think I'm like adjacent to the question, but hopefully that provides some value.
No, that made a lot of sense. I mean, grad school definitely teaches you that your knowledge doesn't matter if you can't communicate it well, or convince people of its importance either. So that I think that's where the marketing aspect of it, the psychology of it is really, really important. And knowing your target audience too, because like a big part, at least I remember I helped you at one point with like recruitment of subjects and, marketing is a big part of recruitment too. So yeah. No, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that patient recruitment part, that's where like I really am trying to center a lot of my work going forward because I discovered that there's just so much of the psychology behind customer experience and kind of like consumer definition that comes from like the e-commerce world or like the business world. Like who's your customer? What's their psychology? Where do they go to find information? What's the language that they speak in? All of that's super applicable to patient recruitment. You have to your patients are people and people are consumers, so a lot of psychology still applies to that. And I love that combination.
Yeah, that is really interesting. Like, yeah, you definitely see the bridge between the scientific side and the creative side there with the marketing and then the patient recruitment and the clinical trials and all that.
Something I've seen a lot with like science and engineering people is that it's like they have this mindset of, oh, if we build it, it's good, the science works, or like the proof is there,
it's for
but
itself.
it speaks for itself. But yeah, you need to be able to communicate that to the world and entice people to come to you and sign up for what you're selling. Otherwise, you won't gain traction or be successful. I mean, there's some products out there that it just magically people just start picking it up and are like, oh, this is great, and word of mouth, it shoots off. But a lot of it takes advertising work, takes word of mouth, takes investment into marketing.
Is there an example of something that you marketed for your clinical research clients?
Yeah, basically, it's marketing the clinical trial, and
Like, what did
so
you do specifically?
So you can think of it like, so a clinical trial is kind of like a service, right? And we need patients to come in and sign up for it. But there's a lot of obstacles towards that. There's fear. There's not even knowing that it exists. There's time constraints for these people. And so you have to think about all of that. And then you have to design, and you have to think about the people that you're trying to recruit into the study, whether it be the different types of demographics that they come from, and then where do they go for information. Then you have to create advertising material to reach out to them. And it's not all the same. Some studies, you primarily have to rely on digital platforms to find those patients and get them into your studies. But there's other studies where they have a really strong relationship with their doctor, and you'll want to recruit patients to those studies through that relationship. And so you have to figure out touch points there where you can get those patients interested in the study. And for those, we supported those studies primarily with print materials that the doctors and the nurses and other coordinators in the study could give to those patients as physical things that they could look through to understand the study. Those are some things that I did marketing wise to support the success of clinical trials.
Oh, interesting. So you created these like flyers or these print materials,
Flyers,
for
brochures, Facebook ads, social media posts. We did email newsletters. It was an amazing experience because we got to work with a wide variety of stakeholders, from patient advocacy groups to kind of like nonprofit organization leaders, to people that were managing Facebook groups, to the doctors themselves, to the managers of different academic and hospital institutions, and then obviously the biotech people at the biotech companies.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah. That's amazing. You are badass. Man, that sounds very important.
Someone's a good ass, but that's okay.
Wow, I had no idea you were.
Take that out.
Okay. Wow, but I had no idea that you did all that. That's really cool. Like, I didn't know the scope of it.
Yeah, Cecilia got a little insight into that too, and she helped support our trial by speaking directly to patients. And that's another touch point too, is that when you have to talk to patients, you have to be empathetic and informative and things like that. And that's another psychological, I don't know, skill set.
Yeah. That's cool. I had no idea. I learned something new about you.
We learn new things about each other every day. We got to keep it interesting, right?
So as we wrap up this episode, do you have any advice, any final advice that you would like to give to our audience or anyone who thinks they want to make a big change?
Yeah. I would say don't be afraid to make a big change. Take the leap is what I often think about. A big change can be really scary, but online you can get a lot of information online to get you ready for it. Then don't be afraid, even if you don't feel 100% ready, because you'll never feel 100% ready. One statistic that I think of is a job statistic that's also applicable here is that um, women tend not to apply to a job until they feel like they're 100% qualified for that job, whereas like men will typically apply for a job if they're only 70% qualified. And for women that are listening to this podcast, I would say, like act like a man, and don't be afraid to apply even if you're not qualified, because a lot of it is you're going to learn it on the job. And same thing with like entrepreneurship or a new endeavor or anything like that. You can't learn everything ahead of time. You're going to learn along the way, and those will be biggest lessons that the biggest lessons that you'll take is the ones that you actually learn while trying to do something and figure it out.
That's so true. I feel like I'm learning all the time, every day.
You all started a podcast. I've always loved that idea out there. Like, oh, and how cool it would be to have a podcast and invite people. And you all went and did this last year. It was just so inspiring.
Aw, thank you. Yeah, I'm still learning about podcasting and just how to interview people. I mean, you're our first guest.
Yeah,
learning in real time.
You're helping us learn a lot too.
That is what I do anyways, clinical trials, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Trial things out.
You're the subject in our trial. Yeah.
Yes.
And then lastly, I have a little fun activity before we end. I'm just going to ask you some rapid fire questions, and I'm going to have you answer just one word for each.
All right.
Okay. You ready? I know you prepared for this.
All
All right. So, coffee or tea?
Tea.
Okay. Good. Current mood?
Happy and motivated.
Okay.
Nice.
That's 3 words.
Sorry, you said
but
one word.
I'm kidding.
I can't see. That's me. I can't choose.
I'll take it. Your past self in 1 word.
Uncertain.
Okay. How about your present self?
Driven.
Okay. And then your future self?
Content.
Okay. Cool.
Hopefully.
And then what is 1 word that has kept you going? Like a mantra, I guess.
This is more like a concept, but community. Community is something that has really moved me forward these past couple of years.
Cool. And then last question. What is 1 word you want to be remembered by?
An inspiration to others.
You are.
Oh.
You already are.
Oh, thank you. It's because I've been surrounded by other inspirational women. Hence, like why I have that sign up. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah.
Do it.
Rosie the Riveter.
Rosie the Riveter. All right. And then lastly, this doesn't have to be 1 word, but where can we find you on social media if the audience wants to connect with you?
Sure. Well, I have an Instagram, but it's more personal, but I don't mind people following along. I kind of share recipes and experiences from my life, traveling and eating things and going to entrepreneurial things. So you can find me at plentiful.life. That's PLEENTIFUL.L. That name is from a nickname that you gave me, Connie. I still don't remember where it came from, but you inspired my social media account.
One of our other friends came up with it, but your name is Pleen.
Okay, that's right. Okay, well, we'll give her the origination story. And then I am also on LinkedIn, where I post more about clinical research things and occasionally like kind of entrepreneurship and job searching. I'm hoping to kind of put more content out there on LinkedIn that help job seekers, and educate people about my industry, entrepreneurship and marketing in the future. But we'll see if that happens with all the other things I have on my plate. And you can find me by searching up my name. I'm the only person with my name there. But otherwise, my LinkedIn suffix is like Pauline T. Luong.
Okay, awesome.
You're telling me there isn't another Pauline Luong Carbajal on
If there is, there can only be one, so I gotta find her.
The Pivot PRN Podcast is proudly sponsored by Nova Nails, your premier destination for high-quality, semi-cured gel nail stickers and essential nail tools. Founded by the inspiring Priscilla, with whom I had the pleasure of meeting at a like-minded collective event, Nova Nails is an empowering brand led by an Asian American female entrepreneur. As a busy mom, I understand the challenges of finding time for self-care. Visiting a nail salon can be difficult, especially when arranging childcare. That's why I love Nova Nails at-home do-it-yourself gel manicure kits. With these products, I can achieve salon-quality nails at a fraction of the cost, allowing me to look and feel professional at networking events. The durability of their products is remarkable. They last up to 3 weeks, empowering me to be my own nail tech. Take advantage of our exclusive discount code PIVOT10 and receive 10% off your first order at nova-nails.co. Elevate your style today and make sure to use this code before it expires.
That's funny. Is there anything else you want to share, just in general, if I missed anything?
Just feel free to connect with me. I love connecting with people and trying to find ways where if there's something unique that you are good at and I find someone else that needs that skill set, that's like something that gives me a lot of joy, is connecting people that can help each other with opportunities in business.
Awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So like I've technically had my business for about 9 years now. Creative clinical R&D, and thank you. The business itself has kind of been in not really stealth mode, but somewhat stealth mode, where I've mostly just been focusing on doing the work for my clients. And so this year I'll be putting more effort into making that its own entity and pursuing clients. And my goal, a dream goal of mine, would actually be to bring a little bit more marketing into clinical research and bring more understanding into it. And I have a couple of ideas that I hope can revolutionize, pardon the hyperbole there, but it just is the word that fits right now, revolutionize some of the ways that we interact with patients in clinical trials and make some clinical trials something that people less scared to join and more excited to be a part of.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
You probably can't share any specifics, huh?
Yes and no, but yeah, maybe in the future, maybe we'll have another interview when I've actually launched things and maybe have some case studies to share. But yeah,
that's really cool. That's so exciting.
Tell our listeners to stay tuned for big things coming from, what's the name of your company again? I'm sorry.
Creative Clinical R&D.
Creative Clinical R&D. More to come.
Yes, more to come.
Thanks for filling out our guest questionnaire ahead of time.
Thanks for having me on. It was actually super centering to have that questionnaire.
Oh, is
it? It's actually very helpful.
Use it as part of my website build.
So you're welcome,
amazing.
Pauline.
Yes.
Some of it was generated by AI. A little bit. Some of it. Not all of it. Half of it was just me thinking of specific questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
But
that would be scary if AI knew some of these things that you asked, these personal things.
Like you went to Canva Create with all these people.
AI reviewed your Instagram handle and it generated all these.
It probably knows a lot more
personalized
than
questions
we realize.
Wow. Yeah, it's kind of creepy. But yes, thank you so much for your time, Pauline. We love you. And we hope you can be back on the podcast soon.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on. This was super fun. This is actually one of my dreams, one of my goals. So thanks for helping me check that off.
Aww. Yay.
Yay.
You're helping
that means we
us.
Have to,
helping us reach our dreams too.
Yeah.
We have to air it soon.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Pivot PRN Podcast. We hope today's conversation inspired you to take the next step in your own pivot journey.
Remember, every big change starts with a single step, and we're here to support you the whole way. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who's ready for a change.
And if you're looking for more insights, tips, or community, follow us on Instagram at Pivot PRN Podcast.
Until next time, keep pushing boundaries, and remember, it's never too late to pivot.